so this next episode is an interesting one, I'll give it that much. But it's an episode that kind of gets me fired up about some certain things, but let's just bring them into it. So let's just get into it. This is Friendship University. So our episode begins with Starswell the Bearded writing a postcard letter of various letters sending over to Twilight, as he basically talks about, as we see, his escapades of learning for friendship, as basically we see that he's completely dropped his douchebaggery from the season 7 finale, so it's nice to know that the magic of friendship has worn off on him and that it's actually being proven into effect.
You about the friendship lessons he's learning. I'm not sure I'll ever get used to it. Of course, if he really wants to learn about friendship, he could just come to our school.
So then when Cozy Glow, who, as I said at the end, near the beginning of A Matter of Principles, is pretty much now going to be a central character for the rest of the season, basically comes in with a bunch of packages, and Twilight is about to have a bit of a freak-out moment, but then Rarity says this line.
I'll think of something, and I didn't use the school funds to buy these. I made the purchase entirely with my own money.
Yeah, so this episode does raise the question, given how, despite how it was not accredited by Chancellor Neighsay, the school has been running for what I'm assuming at this point, by this episode's time, is about a year. And basically, since Rarity said that the way that she had to get the supplies was out of her own pocket change, I would basically assume that the rest of the main six would have to get any type of equipment they would need out of pocket from their own jobs, and not like they're using the school's budget. But that's not like what Twilight is freaking out about.
It's not that. It's this. Why waste your time at a friendship school that's just a school? Learn everything they teach and more at Friendship University.
Yeah! So basically another friendship school, and a lot of what I skip over after the theme is that while Rarity tries to reassure Twilight that everything is fine, they overhear from the Young Six that the school is actually more of a university, teaches the same lessons as the friendship school, and it's in Las Pegasus. And I think we kind of know where this is going, but let's just get going with it. Since Rarity and Twilight then decide to travel to Las Pegasus and figure out what's going on.
I don't like to judge solely on appearances, but what kind of friendship school is this?
I was just going to say that, from the looks of it looks more like a library than a school or a university, if you ask me.
Only the best friendship school in the West. And maybe all of Equestria.
Alright, so let's just cut to the chase. I'm wondering who the hell is running this.
Flim and Flam, of course.
Yeah. So, Flim and Flam are back yet again. I really don't know if this is either better or worse, and I'm muting this next song because, well, number one, it's a Flim Flam Brothers song, and obviously I do not want to have any copyrights compared to some other episodes. But basically, this also leads into the next song of the season, which is, as it's titled, Friendship U, which is the acronym for Friendship University. And basically what it is basically the Flim and Flam brothers pretty much singing of how much better Friendship University is at the friendship school, and pretty much mocking Twilight all the while as she's standing right there. Honestly, I would go deep into the lyrics, but like I said, I think once you've heard one Flim Flam song, you heard them all at this point. Where I think after you heard them once from like Super Cider Squeezy 6000, and when you heard their song, you pretty much have heard the rest. Okay, so rather than saving you just a lot of misery and just basically mocking, you're probably wondering why the hell did they decide to come up with this friendship school now? And you would think that after Viva Las Pegasus, you'd think they actually would be less of con artists. Well,
accredited?
It means officially recognized or authorized.
We know what it means, but who to credit
EEA, of course.
Oh, look who it is! It's Judas! So, yeah. So, basically, it turns out that Chancellor Neighsay accredited Flim Flam's Friendship University. Just to recap, he's basically gone so neck deep that he basically accredited a school that was going to be run by a bunch of con artists. And like I said at the end of the second part, why is it that Chancellor Neighsay say that it's the EEA's decision, but why do you even have an entire committee for this thing if you seem to be the only important member?
Chancellor Neighsay?
The Equestria Educational Association has taken an interest in institutions that teach friendship in a pony-first environment.
So since you're more, so it's nice to know that you haven't changed much of that, but I think in the words of Marvin Littmore, is the reason now you basically decided to accredit a school led by a bunch of con artists is because...
Is that because you are a racist liar or a lying racist?
I'm willing to believe either or, but let's just keep going.
Surely you didn't think your school has a monopoly on the concept?
Well, she did write his book on it.
Ah, yes. How to teach friendship to creatures who will one day use it as a weapon against us.
How could they use friendship as a weapon?
You tell me. It's your book.
Condescending prick. That's really all I can say at this point because I really can't think of anything up in... Oh wait, except for one thing.
Meantime, this university appears to be a promising option for ponies who prefer to stick to the EEA book on the subject.
Oh my god, you're such a douchebag.
There we go. That's what I needed.
You can't be serious. They're obviously up to something. It's Flim Flam.
Oh, well, that certainly wasn't friendly. One would think the head mayor of the School of Friendship, albeit an unaccredited one, would behave differently. Unless she was trying to undermine the competition.
You know what? I'm not even going to replay that one. But basically, it's kind of the point. And it's from then on, this will be the last time that they will see Chancellor Neighsay. As it turns out that Starsworld the Bearded is actually part of Friendship University and is learning the friendship lessons.
Wonderful school.
Oh, please. I think I know a disguise when I see one. Take off that ridiculous beard. Flam!
Your stature is studying here. There really isn't anything else I need to see. I, Chancellor Neighsay, hereby confer upon Friendship University complete and unreserved EEA accreditation.
I refer you back to my last two quotes that number one, you're such a douchebag, and number two, are you really accrediting to the school because are you either a racist liar or a lying racist? So basically, Twilight, not satisfied with all of this and skipping through a lot of this, basically it wants to try to team up with Rarity to try to get to the bottom of this, since clearly it is Flim Flam and they are up to something.
We have to investigate this. But we can't go poking around the school. Every pony will think I'm still just threatened by the competition. Only if we do it as ourselves.
So they basically then hide in the broom closet where they actually put on some, well, at least Rarity, a very impressive disguise.
Half the students at our old school. I don't know, Rarity. What did I say about using our real names? Sorry, Wainity, but I'm pretty sure this isn't enough of a disguise.
Also, I think it might be because of the eye patch, but I think it's just a callback to It's About Time. Or either that, they're trying to make her look like Nick Fury.
Hey, strangers. Are you two new here?
We sure are. Completely new.
Great. See you in class.
You know, I would basically comment on the fact that these disguises are basically kind of like, I I think it's pretty much clear in kid shows that basically these disguises in front of new ponies is pretty much the equivalent of like Clark Kent and glasses or the Ninja Turtles trench coats and hats trick. Like, does it just make people stupid? But apparently the disguise does seem to work, as basically they do sit down in some of the classes to figure out what exactly they teach.
Welcome, newest students. Let's start writing, shall we? One of the most important elements of friendship is being thoughtful. True or false?
If by thoughtful you mean generous, I say true.
Correct! It was a trick question. Very impressive, Miss.
Plainity.
Well, Miss Bladeby. Keep it up and you'll be ready for our next level in no time. Now, let's see if you can demonstrate for the class. What's something generous you could do for me right now? Class, Bladeby here is now my star pupil. If any of you want a chance at studying with Star Swirl, I take notes on her every action.
Or is that basically her making you do her slave labor? But technically, basically, Flim Flam, I guess this is Flim, I'm assuming, he's basically right on the fact that basically what he's trying to explain is generosity. And meanwhile, while that's going on, Twilight tries to get down to business and try to figure out what's going on.
Come in and look around. Unless some pony says it's not. Alright then.
Okay. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off. So basically, while Twilight basically then tries to search for the answers, Flam ends up taking a picture of Twilight, and I think you know where this is going.
Twilight Sparkle, did you really think an eye patch was enough of a disguise?
No, I didn't.
Well then, we agreed that every pony will recognize the Princess of Friendship in this photo of you sneaking into our office.
I can see the headline now. Princess of Jealousy, Twilight Sparkle, bent on ruining her competition.
Okay. So you're probably wondering what the range of the Flim Flam brothers' plan has ranged to, because in the last 8 seasons that we have known them, I am kind of wondering what their appearances are their absolute worst. Where basically running the business and almost driving the Apple family out of business back in Season 2. Admittedly, that is the least egregious, admittedly, even though I'm not a fan of it. In Leap of Faith in Season 4, basically making a tonic thinking that Granny Smith is young that almost got her killed. Or this episode.
So sad. A news story like that would destroy your reputation. No pony will want to go to your school after that.
So basically, if you haven't guessed it yet, basically with them taking the picture of Twilight looking through the lessons, they essentially blackmail her.
Just wait until the papers get a hold of this.
Princess Unhinged. It'll be the talk of Equestria.
Well, gentlemen.
Kill him! I finished another stack. The lessons in these worksheets are quite fascinating. Twilight, what's going on here?
Oh, just your protege getting caught snooping in our office in disguise. Oh, honestly, Princess Twilight, envy does not look good on you.
I'm not envious. I know these two are up to something. I'm just trying to find out what.
The only pony I see who's up to something is the pony in this picture, and it is not the princess I know. I am going to kill all of you.
Yeah, so why exactly anyone is buying the crap that these two are saying, I will not understand, but basically now, Twilight is essentially being blackmailed by these two scumbags.
All of a drop the whole uncover the scam thing. Then we'll rip this silly picture up and not let it completely and utterly ruin you and your school.
Just something that I'm keeping on the back burner. So what I want to say to these two. Why did I play that? Because it's pretty much what I want to do to them right about now. So Twilight basically has no choice to give in, while Rarity is actually being the star of the crowd and is actually a very popular student.
Emotions cloud your judgment. If you think Flim and Flam are up to no good, you can't give up, even if their lessons really are impressive. Wait, what? Which reminds me, can you get a message to Spike? I want to return those sewing machines. I need the bits if I'm going to keep advancing here. Tuition's free, but the worksheets sure aren't.
Yeah, so basically this is kind of leads to what I said before, where basically while at the Friendship School, the staff seem to be paying out of their own pocket, but the Friendship University pays in tuition.
These lessons are so valuable. Are you sure I can't give you more?
Unnecessary. Being able to share them with a pony like you is our real reward. Oh my, and you want to study alongside Starswell. It's all I have.
Come back for the rest when you can afford it.
Wait, I'll sell the shirt off my back. And that's the kind of determination that will get you to the next level. Student whose name I know.
Maybe I should take over the investigation. Think of your reputation. My reputation isn't worth much if I won't risk it for what I think is right. Besides, I have a plan.
Alright, so now we get to see that Flim and Flam's quote-unquote scheme. So okay. So they're...
Well, brother of mine, we've got almost all the bits we need to expand our resort. If we add another level of classes and worksheets, we'll be there.
Maybe we should add 2 levels, just to be safe.
It's a thing of beauty. But I was thinking, what if we added another extreme pool slide here?
Okay, so basically, Flim and Flam's quote-unquote scheme is basically just trying to expand Lost Pegasus. And admittedly, I'm a bit conflicted about this, because the episode tries to portray this as an absolute bad thing, but the reality is that it's their business since they took over Lost Pegasus from Gladmane, who, as need I remind you, back in Viva Lost Pegasus, the place is in an even worse state when Gladmane was in charge. So really, Flim and Flam's quote-unquote scheme is really just them trying to expand their business. Now, that being said, there's nothing wrong with them trying to expand their business, and nothing's wrong with that part of the plan. What I do have a problem with is the way they went about it in the blackmailing Twilight. That does not mean that Flim and Flam are free of guilt in this episode.
Sure, as long as the pipes for the musical chocolate fountain go through here.
But shouldn't it go closer to the pudding hot tub? Here?
A fair point, but what?
I knew your school was a scam.
Like I said, while technically it is in the right, and here's the thing though.
Well, if it isn't the Princess of Jealousy, I guess we'll be going to the papers after all.
You're going next, you idiot! And I suppose I'll just lead your students into this secret room of bits and resort expansion plans.
Let's not get hasty. You have something on us, we have something on you.
That's the motivation I needed. Not only am I going to take your friend out, but I'm going to get your ass when I come back. Let's go.
Let's just call it even.
I don't think so. You can destroy my reputation if you want, but using your students' bits to expand your resort is wrong, even if the lessons you teach are good ones.
Yeah, so that's kind of the thing. While this quote-unquote scheme does bother me, it's not really much of an evil scheme. It's really just Flim Flam trying to expand Viva Las Pegasus, since thanks to Applejack and Fluttershy for getting rid of Gladmane, like I said, they're just trying to expand the place and expand the business of what they have, and that's a lot harder to do than running a few friendship lessons. That being said, Flim Flam are not guilt-free of this, as I said, they blackmail the Twilight, knowing exactly what they do, and they basically just copy and pasted the friendship lessons that Twilight had over at the friendship school, basically making this a plagiarism issue. So even though the overall scheme itself is not necessarily evil, that does not mean that the Flim Flam brothers are not free of guilt.
Of course they're good. We copied them from your book.
We just skipped every other page. All the lessons have the time.
Ugh, fine. If you really want to call it even, give back the bits and stop charging for my lessons. Then you can teach them as much as you like.
Nah, running a school is more work than we thought. Besides, we almost have everything we need.
I think not.
Trinity, my star pupil.
Not Trinity, but Rarity.
Who?
We decided to bring some pony out here to listen to everything you just said.
Yeah, and also, Karma just came back and bit you big time, Flam. And because even though you were right that Twilight's disguise was not really much, the fact that you were easily fooled by Rarity shows that you're not a judge of character, as she ends up bringing Starlight, as naturally the 1,000-year-old wizard is now pissed.
Whoa, we were just about to.
Return the bits you've collected from your students and close your school.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, and I'm assuming this is what happened with what Starswirl said to Chancellor Neighsay when he found out about this, or rather, this is what Twilight should have told him when this was going down.
By the way, y'all should probably know, Chad isn't even rich. Okay, check his car. He just played you like a fucking rube. Later, loser.
Yeah, that's probably what she should have told them. So that's exactly what ends up happening as Flim Flam end up giving back all the bits that they got from all the students.
Seems I'll never stop learning from your example, Twilight. It is a valuable lesson to stand up for what you know is true. I wish I had known it too.
Thanks for returning our bits. But how are we going to learn about friendship now?
Well, I can refer you to a fairly reputable establishment.
So thanks to Starswirl's advocation, the students that basically got conned, or quote-unquote conned, basically then joined over to the friendship school as business is booming more than ever.
Starswirl. I still don't understand how Flim Flam could have gotten a copy of your book. I finished straightening up in the library. Professor Rarity, I just wanted to make sure you're definitely keeping me. But of course, darling. If there's one thing I learned at Friendship University, it is not to give up when you know what's right.
Okay, so something to keep in mind. As soon as Rarity asked how the Flim Flam brothers got the friendship journal, and then Cozy Glow ends up walking in, I feel like the foreshadowing meter is like going through the roof. It'd probably be breaking at any moment.
And I know teaching friendship through sewing is right. I just need to figure out how.
Well, this gives me a lot of foreshadowing to look forward to. So that was Friendship University, and this episode's mediocre. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just mediocre. Obviously, I can understand that this episode does raise some interesting points, and that it raises the question of how a school can basically be accredited and how they have to pay for the tuition, while the friendship school seems to be getting materials and supplies from out of their own pocket. And it's definitely an interesting idea that the show definitely tries to expand upon. And I definitely like how Twilight, even with facing the adversity, was not willing to sacrifice what she believed was right and was willing to sacrifice her reputation for it. Right. Now, that being said, I am not really a huge fan of really any of the antagonists, which I know is kind of the point, but the fact that the Flim Flam brothers, which even though, like I said, their scheme, I think out of all the quote-unquote schemes we see from them, this was probably them just being the less evil since they were just trying to expand out a business. That being said, them blackmailing Twilight and then basically he just copying word for word the friendship lessons, basically making them plagiarists. They are not guilt-free of this. And I really wish that Chancellor Neighsay would appear to kind of see this go down to basically show that ponies can do wrong. It's just kind of a frustrating experience just to see the villains get a lot of basically upper-handedness, where basically throughout the entire episode, you basically just want to yell at them to basically say,
Just fall, you mother... Fall. 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 Fall.
And fortunately, we do get that, but it might be a little bit too late. Admittedly, there are a couple, and this episode does try to balance it out because there are a couple of funny bits in the episode, especially with Rarity being in disguise and how she's able to get in character like that. And as I mentioned, the heavy implications of that foreshadowing, it does make me a bit excited, but it's just kind of getting to those moments whenever the antagonists are on screen is kind of what gets my blood pumping. So, as a whole, Friendship University, it's not a good episode, but compared to the handful of episodes, I'm not going to declare it the worst. It's mediocre at best. So as a whole, I think Friendship University gets, I want to say about a C. That's probably the best I'm going to give this episode. So, Friendship University is a C for me. Alright, so next time we are going to be looking at The End in Friend. See you guys next time. Bye.